This has to be extremely bad for the American people. So guys, according to a DOD document that came out, or rather was amended back in September 27th of this year, 2024, the DOD has now authorized military personnel, if you will, to pretty much use lethal force on American citizens in certain situations. So I saw this about a day ago online, and somebody sent me an article of another YouTuber. Then I saw a pinball preparedness video on it. And as I'm watching Pinball's video, it started to dawn on me that this is way more serious than just this document that they sort of amended. So now, according to Pinball, the original document, which was released back in 1982 and then revised back in 2007, had nothing about lethal force being used on American citizens during certain situations. They just amended that back last month, September 27th of 2024. Now, as I'm listening to Pinball talk, it starts to dawn on me that this is a really, really bad thing, because not only, guys, are they going to use the military to fire upon American citizens, and not just the National Guard, but the U.S. Marines, the U.S. Army, and I guess the Navy and their Navy bullshit. They are absolutely lining this up with everything else they've been doing in the last 2 years. Now, if you guys remember, about a month or two ago, politicians were planning for a mass casualty event. And in that mass casualty event that they were planning for, they were looking how to replace certain politicians faster, right? So I think it was like 90 days that they had to replace these politicians, and they want to do it within days. So they did that about 2 months ago, or they brought up the conversation about doing that. I don't know if they actually went through with it or not. So now they revise a document stating that they could fire upon American citizens. Now, there are a lot of reasons why they're doing this now. It is not a coincidence that they did this right before the 2024 election, the most contentious election in American history. This is by far a high anxiety election. Everybody's anxious. I'm not, because either way this goes, I know that something is going to happen. Either way, whether Trump wins or Kamala Harris wins, something is going to unfold. If Trump wins and he then gets taken out, I could see America uprising in such a way that lethal force will be used. If Kamala Harris doesn't win, Trump doesn't get assassinated, but right up to the inauguration, all of a sudden a situation unfolds that leaves the current American president in power indefinitely, and then he transfers that power over to Kamala Harris. Biden transfers that power over to Kamala Harris. I could see people being pissed enough that they start acting up, and then there could be lives taken as well. There are a lot of avenues that this can go down, and this can be bad. So clearly, guys, they're doing this because A, they believe something big is going to happen. B, they're just preparing for it, but still authorizing the DOD, authorizing the military to fire and or kill American citizens is bad. I don't care how well prepared you're trying to be, that is bad, and they probably know that we're going to act up, or people are going to act up, rather. And because they believe so, this is why they authorized that. This, guys, could also be them gearing up for civil war. Now, however the civil war is ignited, this is leading up to that. And so opposing American forces can fire upon one another, maybe. Maybe they can have that battle here in the United States and fire upon American citizens who help that opposing force, whatever that opposing force might be. So there needs to be a lot of things set into place for an actual battle to happen on American soil. And this is one of them. So there are, again, a lot of things that are going down. Now, you can listen to Pinball's video. There's a couple of other videos out there talking about. There's some military experts talking about this. I'm not a military expert. I'm just using my angle as a citizen of the United States and pointing out the things that I'm seeing. Now, I could be completely wrong. Pinball could be completely right, vice versa. The military guys who I would, and Pinball is a military guy, ex-military guy. So I would probably lean on him a little more as far as where this could go. But from what I'm seeing and the things that I'm starting to gather, this is not good. Because if they're starting guys to make certain moves, and of course, these moves that are being made are being overshadowed by things going on. Now, of course, this was being done and we were all focused on P. Diddy. And though the P. Diddy situation, some people will say, oh, it's a ruse, it's a distraction. That's not a distraction, because the amount of things that can come out of the whole P. Diddy thing could destroy America, can destroy Hollywood, and possibly America, I'm sorry, and a lot of politicians are connected to that. And there's a connection to Epstein that's being made now. So that can absolutely expose the sex trafficking industry. That's why I don't look at it as a distraction. I look at that as a necessity that needs to happen. But that being said, while we were all watching and focused on Puffy and his shitty dancing and rapping, this shit went down and no one was the wiser. Now, there are people, guys, who watch these things closely, is why I wind up finding out about a day or two ago. Someone sent me an article on it or a link to another video on it, and then I happened to watch Pinball after another friend actually sent it over to me to watch. And I looked at it and I was like, all right, so this is worth talking about. And Pinball broke it down a lot simpler, and I'm breaking it down even simpler, if that's even a thing. But still, my point, guys, is that this isn't good because they're gearing up for something. You don't make these moves, you don't start amending the lethal use of force on American citizens unless you know or you think there's a high probability of something happening. So for those that might not know, this is a DoD Directive 52450.1 or O1, however you look at it. Some people say the zero doesn't exist, so it's just 0.1. Either way, guys, look up that directive. I'm going to put the PDF file in the the description section below, and I'm going to talk about it, or rather, I talked about it last night on the Angryprepper channel. This is something, again, that we need to follow. Not that we need to be up in arms about it. We don't need to fucking, alert the community. This is something that everybody should be exposed to and know about it. Should something go down, we know that they're ready to use lethal force on American citizens if the big plan that unfolds. Other than that, guys, this is the Angryprepper. Thank you for watching.